passionate instigator and dynamic problem solver, Dr. Kevin Ross Emery, the host of the Dr. Kevin Radio Show, will be taking you outside the box, behind the curtain, and identifying the load of BS we are fed every day. And now, Dr. Kevin.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Dr. Kevin Show, where we challenge everything and everyone here on OMTimes Radio, where we're changing the world one ohm at a time. This week is our first Thursday of the month, and as always, in our first Thursday of the month, we have trouble afoot. A hand, a hip, an ear, a nose. We have trouble all over the place.
And a belly button.
And we have it in the belly button. Innie or outie?
Oh, it's an innie. Thank God. I don't like outies. No, it's very much an innie.
Inquiring minds wanted to know. And that cackle, that laugh, is from none other than Matt Connarton from IPM Nation, Matt Connarton Unleashed, who is also got a show here on OMTimes Radio, has multiple other radio TV shows. He's just he's just a media prostitute.
Thank you, Dr. Kevin. That's one of the nicest things anyone said to me in the last 5 minutes. Thank you.
My question is, because you do get paid, right? Somewhere.
Oh, big. No. Well, yes, but not really big bucks. But yeah.
Okay, Matt, let's not be a size queen here. Okay, so that means prostitute, and I don't have to use the W word for you, because you do get some money along the way.
The W word?
Yeah.
What's the W word?
It's the prostitute who gives it all away instead of getting paid for it.
Oh. Or a hoe, as they say in the hood.
A hoe. Yeah,
a hoe.
I like to spell mine with a W. Thank you very much.
Well, I am from Compton originally. That's how we talk there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. We'll forgive you. Okay, so so you can find the Dr. Kevin Show on IPM Nation. You can find Matt Connarton Unleashed on IPM Nation. You can find a number of different things on IPM Nation. Or you may be listening to this on IPM Nation, or you may be listening to it on OMTimes, because Matt's been pimping me out for years.
Who's the hoe now?
Hey, Yeah, I want to talk about that. I don't want to be a hoe anymore. I want to get paid.
That's right.
Okay.
Is your belly button an innie, by the way? We didn't talk about your belly button.
I'm so touched that you asked. I can show you in person. No, it's it's an innie.
That's good. All right. I just wanted to make sure I didn't offend you with my comment about I don't like outies. Because in all seriousness, like if I'm somewhere where I see someone with an outie, it actually legitimately does bother me. And I want to take some sort of power tool and just like push it in for them or something. It just doesn't seem natural. I mean, I know it's not their fault, but it just bugs me.
Okay, yeah, that's a deep issue there. I think maybe we should we might need to talk about that more deeply at some point.
There's really not much more to it.
More tools into people's bellies. There are words for people like you.
Well,
and it doesn't start with the word W.
Well, people, you could say weirdo, which does actually start with a W.
Yeah, I was thinking more about a word that started with a P or an S.
Oh, my. That could be a number of words. That's the great thing about language. We have all kinds of words.
Yes, and I've used most of them.
Yes.
So anyways, this week, to our fans, anybody that's calling in new is going, what am I listening to? I thought this was the Dr. Kevin Show. It is the Dr. Kevin Show, and the first of every month, we call it Thirst Quenching Thursday, where Matt comes and joins me and co-hosts, and we have a good laugh. We put a few things through the spiritual lens under a little scrutiny, and we are, and we go from there. And we do this the first Thursday of every month. So we try to quench your thirst on Thirst Quenching Thursday here on the Dr. Kevin Show. If you would like to be part of the conversation, because change doesn't happen by sitting around and doing nothing. Does it, Matt?
No, it does not, Dr. Kevin.
It means taking an action. An action we're inviting you to take is to come to facebook.com/MyDrKevin, MYDRKEVIN. You come there. Right at the top is the posting of Thirst Quenching Thursday, along with some of the topics we're going to cover over the next hour. And you get to speak out. You get to be heard. We will read your comments over air most of the time. Occasionally, there's had to be one or two that I've just deleted. But, it takes a lot to get me to delete a comment. And so this is your chance to participate. Make a change. Make a choice. Do it differently. Take an action. Just stop sitting on that friggin' Velcro on your couch. Okay, so Matt, tell me, how is IPM Nation going? Because you guys have been going through a lot of change, and I just want a little bit of an update because I'm curious.
We're doing,
we never get a chance to talk to each other.
Yes, well, we're doing very, very well. We're always adding new content, new programming. We're adding additional sponsors and advertisers. Jen's been doing a great job bringing people in. She's our talent scout, and she's brought on a lot of exciting programming. I know someone we had talked about last time, Brian Browdy, host of All Natural Being. He's our current #1 show and just doing phenomenally. Still want to get you guys connected, or maybe you already did and I just don't know. But I think you'd have
I commented on his line and he commented back, but I think that probably a more formal connection might be in order. So why don't you send us a joint email or
sure.
Or a joint carrier pigeon? I don't care.
Yeah, we'll go with the email. I don't. I'm afraid of pigeons, but they carry disease and things. That's a terrible idea, Dr. Kevin. But yes, we will get you connected. I think you'd have a very interesting discussion.
So that's great. I'm glad Jen's doing such a good job with sponsors, with advertisers, with monetizing IPM Nation. So should I be talking to her about pimping me better instead of you?
She probably would do a better job. She is good at that. Very good at that.
Jen, pimp me. Tell her I got a lot of valuable assets for that she could, roll some money from.
Cool.
Oh. So what's your latest, newest show?
God, what is our latest, newest show? What? The Opperman Report. Yeah, that's a pretty new one. We have a show called The Opperman Report, hosted by Ed Opperman, who's he's kind of famous in some circles. He's a private investigator. He was involved in the OJ trial and some other things. He does a live show Friday and Saturday nights, and it's really pretty compelling stuff. Yeah, I'd recommend that. That's definitely one of the newer ones we have. He probably is the newest. Really, really interesting show. Oh, and there's Did You Know? Jen just reminded me, too. She does a show called Did You Know, which is on Monday nights, where it focuses only on positive news stories, which there is not enough of out there, shows that focus on the positive.
Well, you tell her I said, you go, girl.
Well, she's listening.
Okay. You go, girl. I think that's great. I try to bring up some, because when I first started the latest iteration of being on radio, and I had my hot topic, and it was always my hot topic, and the things that got me hot under the collar. And then one day I said, stop. I'm going to change it. That it might be something that gets me hot under the collar or makes me feel warm and fuzzy. And so I've decided that, I'm going to make a sincere effort in that first segment of my regular shows, not this one, to come up with something warm and fuzzy, to find something that's worth talking about that's a feel good.
Yeah.
There isn't anybody that, couldn't have a slightly better life with a good feel. Or did my dyslexia just kick in?
Oh, my goodness.
Don't. You just made me think of a song, and the last thing you want me to do is break out in song.
With Oh My Goodness?
Yeah. Oh, my, Oh, my. Is that before your time?
Yeah, I don't know what that's from, Dr. Kevin.
Oh, come on, Matt. You're not that much younger than me.
Uh,
What is it? Oh, my. Can you boogie? Can you slide? I don't know.
I have no idea what that's from. No, I have no clue.
Well, somebody's looking it up for me. Who was
Okay.
the guy?
Ringo Starr, Oh My My.
Ringo Starr did it. It was a Ringo Starr song.
Then there's Boogie Oh My by West Side Boogie too.
Anyways, so moving right along. But I think that's wonderful. Tell Jen I said congratulations. And, and if she's ever looking for a good piece of hot news, that she should give me a call because I'll give her some good hot news.
Hot news. Ed Opperman, by the way, just messaged me on Facebook. He's got Juanita Broderick is going to be on his show Saturday night. That's interesting. It's a strange coincidence. He must be listening.
Oh, well, maybe he is. If he is, welcome. Come to facebook.com/MyDrKevin, like my page, and weigh in on some of the stuff we're talking about. So, anything else, Matt? We're going to be going to a break. When we get back, we got a break coming in probably about 45 seconds, if I be correct. So anything else going on with IPM Nation?
Oh, boy. Oh, we do have a new layout for the site. It's a couple weeks old now, but for anyone who hasn't been to the site lately, please check it out, ipmnation.com. It's very, very mobile friendly, which it's been for a while, but now more so than ever because more and more people are accessing this kind of content on their mobile devices. So that is very, very important. And, of course, the OMTimes site is mobile friendly as well. But that is absolutely critical in this day and age. So please, if you haven't looked, take a gander. It's looking pretty good.
Okay, I know that, and there comes the music. Thank you.
Bringing a more conscious lifestyle to your world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Eros Evolution is where sexuality and spirituality meets. Join me, clinical sexologist Martha Tara Lee, on Eros Evolution on Thursdays, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio.
Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
The truth is, you can't change the world if you're broke. I know, I've tried. Isn't it time you turned your life's calling into a profitable, freedom-based business? I'm Michelle Barr. Join me every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern for Sacred Success.
The best of holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Dr. Kevin?
Hello.
Are you there?
Hello.
Oh.
And welcome back. I thought I had taken that off, and I didn't.
Oh.
Welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show, where we challenge everything and everyone here on OMTimes Radio, and we broadcast through IPM Nation. So whether you're coming on to us from the left or the right, you're welcome. I wonder, is that like, are you like, is that like red and blue, left and right, you and OMTimes? I don't know. We should probably think about that. Or is it left and further left?
I don't know what you mean.
You know, like you talk about somebody being, you know.
Do you mean politically?
Yeah.
Oh, well, on IPM Nation, we do have a lot of political programming, but it's all across the spectrum, so to speak.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question.
Yes.
Because I have 3 topics that I've pulled out to cover in the show today, and then anything you want to cover. But I won't hold my breath that you brought anything to the table.
That's good. Good call.
Good call. What I want to talk about the fact that suddenly Gary Johnson really seems to be kind of a hot topic, and you know he's become visible enough that Trump has taken swaps at him, and I don't think that's boredom. What do you think? Is this going to change the political landscape between now and November? Is this going to be the election that we see a viable, really, really viable third party?
I think so because, well, first of all, let me say I'm thrilled. I voted for Gary Johnson in 2012, and I will do so again this time around. But here's the thing. So if Gary Johnson can get to 15% in national polls, he'll be eligible to participate in the debates with Hillary and Trump. And that hasn't happened since 1992 when Ross Perot was pulling, 20, 25%, and he was able to participate. So we could see that again. I've seen a couple polls that have him at 10%. I saw one poll recently that had him at 11. But the key is to get to 15 to get him in those debates. Ultimately, the effect I think that he'll have is he'll pull far more votes from Trump than he would from Hillary. So I think, it's going to throw the election to Hillary, but I do think that this is a big step forward for the Libertarian Party, and going in the direction of finally having a truly viable third party. Because you know how I feel about the two-party system, Dr. Kevin. I want to see it blow itself up. So I'm absolutely thrilled about this development, and I think Trump is starting to take swipes at him because a lot of these Republicans who are not happy with Trump, and there are a lot of them, his negatives are very high. A lot of them are going to go. They're going to go for the third-party candidate, Gary Johnson, or they'll stay home on Election Day. But I think it virtually guarantees that Hillary will win. Not that I'm a fan of Hillary either. But no, this is a very positive development.
Well, it's very interesting because what I'm hearing is that you've kind of doubt Bernie altogether. Has he in your mind, has he lost now? Is he not a viable candidate at all?
Well, he never was a truly viable candidate because the way the Democrats have it rigged with their superdelegates, he never really had a chance at the nomination. All he can really do is be a thorn in Hillary's side. Don't get me wrong. I like Bernie Sanders. I don't support him. I wouldn't vote for him because I'm not a socialist. But there are things about him that I do like very much. Bernie Sanders, for one thing, has proven you can run a viable campaign and build national support without taking all your money from big money, fat cat donors, corporations, and everybody else. Just what is it? $27, I think, is his average campaign donation. And look what he's been able to accomplish. So he gets tremendous respect from me. Just on that alone, being able to prove that you really can do it that way, go to the people and run a truly grassroots campaign. So I like and admire Bernie Sanders tremendously for that. And there are other things I like about him too, even though I don't actually support him, but I like him. And it's fun watching him hang in there and stick it to Hillary. Hillary should not get a coronation. I don't personally think Hillary should be president, but that's probably where we're going to end up. But Bernie was never viable because the system is rigged against him. But he does have a voice, and that's, that's a positive.
Well, I think it's positive. I mean, I think there's a positive that there are voices that are not the same little voices that are always being heard under Republican and Democrat flag waving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not as big a critic as Hillary as a lot of people are, and you and I have had that conversation before. I think that Hillary is quite capable before if she becomes president. I think that she's quite capable of sticking it to the system on the way out the door, because I'm not sure that she's not more interested in legacy than anything else.
Well, I think she's capable. Look, I would never say that she's not capable or competent and to that point, I'll tell you one thing I do like about her, because I don't like Hillary, but I can find something to like about her. I do think she's tough. I would never describe her as weak or anything like that. And I think in fact, I think in terms of foreign policy, I think our enemies in the world would be much more fearful of her. I know some people would say that, she's a woman, so therefore, no one will feel threatened by her. But I disagree. I think, Obama, who a lot of people will say that he comes across as weak to our enemies, I don't think Hillary will have that problem. I think she's got kind of a don't F with me kind of attitude that she puts off that I think some of our enemies may in fact be intimidated by and may think that she's tougher than Obama. So I don't think that she's not capable, but I do think she's very much a part of the system. And I don't think she's going to stick it to the system at all. I think she is the system. She's a product of the establishment. And I think ultimately she's out. Yeah, she'll care about her legacy, sure, but not because she cares about the country any more than I think she cares about herself. I think ultimately she's out for herself. But I think most of them are.
Yeah. Well, I definitely agree on something, which is Hillary would be very tough, and if some foreign leader decided to push, she'd be cutting him off and serving him with spaghetti on a big plate of spaghetti and handing him right back to them. Yeah,
I mean, I think somebody like Vladimir Putin, who clearly does not take Obama seriously, I think he would actually be much more intimidated by someone like Hillary. She just has a certain toughness about her. So, yeah, if I were to find something to like about her, it's that. But overall, I think she's a terrible person. I think she's completely corrupt. I mean, she's owned by Wall Street, Goldman Sachs and everybody. I mean, she's, but so is Obama, and they're all owned and bought and paid for by somebody.
So the question is, and I'm going to go back to the whole Gary Johnson thing for a minute, is Republicans are looking for a place to vote. What would have been the thought process or strategy on the Trump side to start picking fights with Gary Johnson and highlighting him as somebody that the Republicans might almost feel comfortable jumping ship for? Why start? Because he started the poking.
Right. Well, part of that, I think it's his nature. Trump just can't help himself. That's what he does. But you brought up an interesting point, because there is a risk there, and I'm sure this is an ongoing dialogue in the Trump campaign. On the one hand, they're going to poke at him because they want to make him seem like not a viable option for those Republicans and basically say, no, stick with us. Don't go with Gary Johnson. Stick with us. But the risk to that is, on the other side of the equation, does that actually end up doing Trump more harm than good, because that on some level legitimizes Gary Johnson, because that signals to everyone that they do realize that Gary Johnson is a legitimate threat? Would they be better off ignoring him and acting like they don't take him seriously? So there's sort of a cost-benefit analysis that has to go on there, and I'm sure that's an ongoing dialogue in the Trump campaign. Gary Johnson is definitely a threat, but is it smart to acknowledge that, or try to ignore it and hope that he just flames out?
Well, I think that the other side of that, which could be very interesting, is that it may be to get it so that Gary Johnson is in the debate, and then Trump pulls a Trump. And he suddenly backs out and says, I'm not going to do the debate. I don't have to. You can't make me. And making Hillary debate Johnson, which could fall into Trump's favor.
Well, Jimmy Carter tried that in 1980. He refused to participate in a debate with not only Reagan, but John B. Anderson, the independent candidate. And look what happened to Jimmy Carter. He paid dearly for that decision. It ended up making him look like he was afraid. And I think Trump is not Jimmy Carter, clearly a very different personality, but I can see that backfiring. But you just never know. But this whole election is so crazy and weird because of Trump that who knows? Anything could happen.
Anything goes.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting because the one thing that would allow Trump to get rid of it, and then we're going to go on break, and then I've got a couple more new topics to go over on the next segment. But the one thing that might make Trump be able to get away with it without looking like a coward is the fact that he's already got away with standing up people on debates all along the way. So this is now part of a pattern and not something that falls out of a pattern that will make people go, oh, well, you're afraid.
Yeah, that's true. It's really uncharted territory. Trump's candidacy and his behavior as a candidate, it is uncharted territory. So, yeah, who knows? That's part of what makes this election so fascinating and so fun and frightening all at the same time.
Well, they keep saying, I'm listening because I know the music's going to come up any minute. And there it is.
And there it is.
Right back.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hey ladies, do you want to have that good hair day feeling all the time? Gentlemen, would you want your special someone to have that glow, letting you know she's feeling completely satisfied? This feeling and that glow can be yours by embracing your sexual power. So join me, Rachel Kenley, award-winning romance author, on the O-Spot. The O-Spot will guide you to that peak with guest interviews, book discussions, and conversations on the thrills of sexual empowerment. Put the zing back in your life. Come up and see me sometime on the O-Spot, live on Hump Day at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business. Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network.
Join Vibe Nation radio host, international psychic medium Carrie Turcotte, as she guides her listeners to rediscover themselves by accessing the keys of knowledge that already exist within. Each week's show is divinely orchestrated to intertwine with the universal energies, allowing the listeners to go deeper within. At the end of each show, Carrie will tap into the energies of the listeners and give a message from Spirit about the upcoming week. If you really want to get to know who you truly are, join Carrie each Monday at 3 p.m. on Vibe Nation Radio.
Your conscious lifestyle on steroids. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show, where we challenge everything and everyone. Here we are on OMTimes Radio, and we are also being rebroadcast through IPM Nation. So whether you're coming to me from the left, coming to me from the right, coming to me from the front, or coming to me from the back, oh, baby, welcome. We are also, today is Thirst Quenching Thursday, the first Thursday of every month. We have none other than, ta-da! Who are you?
My name is Matt Connarton.
And who are you with?
Who am I with?
Matt?
Well, I'm here all alone, Dr. Kevin. Well, that's not true.
No, that's not true. We talked again earlier in the back. Founder of IPM Nation, host of the of Matt Connarton Unleashed, a radio TV show.
Jen says she's chopped liver. No, I was just kidding. No, you're right, Dr. Kevin. I am with Matt Connarton Unleashed and IPM Nation and all those things. I'm quite ubiquitous.
There we go.
How's that for a big word, huh? You like that?
I like that.
It's 4 syllables right there. Yeah.
I think your vocabulary's been improving since you've been with Jen.
Maybe. Well, she'll like to hear that. And she will hear it in a few seconds. There's a few seconds delay, you know.
So
she's listening on her headphones.
Oh, okay. So anyways, moving right along. So on this segment, let's talk gorilla.
Okay.
Have you been following that at all?
Yeah, the kid fell into the gorilla pit or cage or whatever you call it, and they shot the gorilla. And I know there's all this outrage among the animal rights people. Well, why'd they have to shoot the gorilla? Why couldn't they hit it with a tranquilizer gun or something? I don't know if there's been any more recent developments than that. I haven't followed the story that closely.
Well, you know, it is an interesting thing. It is an interesting thing because so this little boy, I think he was 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. I haven't been, it's not like I've been memorizing it, but this little kid climbs the fence over into the gorilla. Now, it takes a couple of minutes to climb a fence.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't climb a fence, it's not something that happens if your parent sneezes and goes achoo and closes their eyes and, oh, boo, they've climbed the whole fence and they're now over it.
Right.
There has to be a decent amount of parental ignoring.
Yeah, some negligence, yes.
There's some negligence there. And of course, the whole thing is, obviously, one side has said that there's no way that you can tell how an animal is going to react to a tranquilizer dart, and it's not immediate, and it might have made the situation worse. They didn't have one prepped or ready to go. And of course, the life of the child was the one that was most valued in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side was, and then there's the part of it that says, where's the parent responsibility? Do parents have a responsibility if their child leads to something like this because they weren't being parented well? Now,
right.
I read something today that was done by a UU minister. I can't remember what church she was out of. It showed up on my timeline, but it, about, not doing judgment, and as parents, there are all sorts of things that our kids do that, it just only takes a heartbeat and suddenly they've fallen in the pool or whatever. And that the guilt of that they almost lost their child is enough punishment. So that's the question out there. Is the situation itself acceptable? Should we be this upset that a gorilla, should we be saying, hey, it was just a gorilla? Or should we be going, hey, you had a fence that could be climbed by a 3-year-old to get into a gorilla pit? So what are your thoughts? Because, I think we're going to see more of this. Well,
as someone who has no children and I have no parental instinct, I'm always a little hesitant to criticize parents, but I got to tell you, this seems pretty negligent to me. Like you said, it would have had to have taken a couple of minutes for, the kid to get into that position. So, it's pretty easy to be critical of the parent, and I think that is that criticism is warranted. I hope we're not going to hear more stories like this. I mean, it's certainly not not an everyday occurrence, certainly, but I do think, as far as shooting the gorilla, I think that was a completely appropriate thing to do. People have, of course, the animal rights people are saying, well, why couldn't they shoot it with a tranquilizer and whatnot? But then, it's pointed out that if you do that, what if you shoot at the gorilla and you miss with the tranquilizer gun? Then the gorilla is going to become pretty agitated pretty quick, and that could escalate the situation where that kid is in even more danger. So, I think the people who are second guessing the actions of the zoo are being a little bit hypercritical. But also, too, this is somewhat uncharted territory. I mean, I know it's not unheard of, this kind of thing happening, but I think it's pretty damn rare. So I'm not going to certainly criticize the zoo over the actions they took. And by the way, can you imagine the position the zoo would be in if the gorilla had ended up, if they had made the wrong choice and the gorilla ended up killing that kid? What would happen then? I mean, that zoo would probably be closed forever. The legal ramifications, beyond, of course, obviously, what would be the tragedy of the kid's death? I mean, what would happen to that zoo? I mean, they did. I don't agree with the animal rights people on this. They did what they had to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna, just because I want to throw something out, I've got a couple of other things I definitely want to see if we can get to tonight. So I don't want to use up the whole segment on the gorilla.
Sure,
but I do want to ask a couple of questions, which is, would the parents be held liable if, let's say, the zoo couldn't have got there with a gun in time? What happens if the gorilla killed the kid before they could have got there, even with a gun? Then would the parents be up for negligence? Should the parents be held responsible for the death of their child because they didn't do it? Because if the answer is in anybody's mind, well, of course, if the kid had died, then that would have been negligence. Well, guess what? Something died, so why is it any less negligent? Why is it okay because the kid didn't die when the kid never should have been in the situation? I feel like there's a double standard there.
Well, I would say regardless of the outcome, the negligence was there. Regardless of the outcome, the negligent part is that they weren't paying enough attention so that the kid was able to get in there. That's where the negligence is. So in my mind, they don't get off the hook just because the kid didn't die. The parents or parent, I'm unclear whether both parents were there, but whoever was supposed to be watching that kid was negligent regardless of the outcome.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, when I read stuff by people that go, oh, the scare was enough punishment for the parents, I'm not sure. I mean, I've been responsible for small children. Things do happen, but I think that you also have to look at the fact that, I don't know, maybe there is no increase, but it feels like if it's not falling into a gorilla, there seems to me as if that there are more. There's more parenting that involves being self-absorbed into your technical devices than watching your child than was going on 20 years ago.
Oh, that's probably true. You're probably onto something there. I mean, everyone's, parents are not everybody. As you see people walking around. I almost hit somebody driving the Jeep one day because somebody wandered in front of the Jeep, looking down at their phone, not paying attention to the traffic around them. I think in general, that's probably a problem. I think people are generally much less aware. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's played into what happened here. Somebody just looking at their phone instead of paying attention to their kid.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to throw this one out quickly. I just want to talk about it. Yet again today on Facebook, I got slimed by somebody who I like, who I love, who I care about, actually. I got slimed by the, if you're really my friend, then you will do this, this, and this, and then cut and paste this.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, this is somebody who, less than a year ago, completely was like, this is all hogwash. Don't ask me to do this. If my friendship with you is based on the fact of me cutting and pasting something for you, then we don't have much of a friendship.
I'm not a big fan of that either. I always ignore those.
Well, and I do too. But I'm starting to really think that this is a type of social media brainwashing, hoop jumping to see, well, first of all, on one hand, it's a strategy for people who are trying to pick up their SEO if it can be used as that. Because then all sorts of people suddenly comment on one of your posts and it will bump your numbers.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. So
whenever anybody does it who I know has a business promotional aspect attached to their Facebook page, I'm very leery and I won't play. This particular, and I actually very playfully called her on it. I said, I actually did some kind of referral of, I'm sorry, I thought that you look like a woman that once told me that she never did this because it was a bunch of us, blah, 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 blah. So, so I'm not cutting, I'm not pasting, I'm kind of ignoring you because you must have kidnapped her body. And then she said, oh, so-and-so made me do it. I'd do anything for her. And I'm like, which is fine. It's not a big deal, but I don't know. There's something that's becoming disturbing because I feel like you're seeing more of these that are coming out in different variations. And I'm almost like, there's something icky about this.
Yeah. Like I said, I ignore them.
We will be right back.
All right.
Thursday.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Looking for inspiration?
Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience and all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
Have you ever wondered how to change your love paradigm? The secret key is finding a love partnership, not just a regular connection. How do you find these? Through conscious relationships. Ascending Hearts Dating is a dating site for people like you that believes in second chances and a different type of spiritual connection. Try Ascending Hearts for free today at ascendinghearts.com and change your love paradigm. Ascending Hearts, the premier dating community for the spiritually awake. Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community.
Live with medium Lisa Phoenix, Mediumship Messages and Musings, explores mediumship and all things metaphysical. Lisa Phoenix invites you to reach above and beyond your everyday experiences to explore new dimensions in the spirit world. She will do live readings to connect callers to their loved ones in spirit, shares engaging stories and teachings from her own personal experience, and will have intriguing conversations with other mediums, spiritual teachers, and healers to help you understand the metaphysical world so you can connect to these forces in your day-to-day life. Join your hosts on this magical and metaphysical journey into the world of spirit every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Dr. Kevin Show here on OMTimes Radio. Also being secondarily broadcast through IPMNation.com. I want to make sure I have a point of saying that because I'm trying to get on the good side of the guy that founded IPM Nation because he's doing really well, and I'm trying to get him to pimp me better. None of Matt Connarton.
That's me.
From Matt Connarton Unleashed. Yes.
Dr. Kevin, so I have a question for you. So, we were talking earlier, you were asking me about what's new with IPM Nation and whatnot, and I appreciate that. But I want to know what's going on with you. What's new with you? Because you've always got new things cooking and new projects and all that kind of stuff. You're a man in motion.
Oh, yes, I'm a man in motion. I'm actually a man of emotion in motion. How's that?
That's great. Was that intentional? You took one song lyric and linked it to another, or was that a coincidence?
It was a quadinky dink, a donkey.
Wow, because when I said "Man in Motion," I was thinking of the John Parr song from St. Elmo's Fire, and then you said "Emotion in Motion," which is, of course, a song by the Cars. Yeah. So I thought maybe that's what you were going for.
Yeah, it was a quinky dink, coo. Because I me and coincidences, they don't occur.
Right. Okay.
So anyways, well, I've got a lot of exciting things going on. I've just started making myself available through the Holistic Self-Care Center in Nashua, New Hampshire. As you and I have talked about, I am officially moving back to New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving back I'll be living in Nashua. Nashua.
Very good.
Which is very interesting because in my time here, I've lived in Portsmouth and I've lived in Manchester and I've lived in Hanover and when you look at it, I have not made Keene or Plymouth, but if you look at it, I'm definitely kicking off all the major cities in New Hampshire. And so Nashua was on my bucket list, I guess. I didn't know I had a bucket list. But so, yes. So I'm doing stuff there. Starting in July, twice a month, I'm going to be back up at Leaping Lizards in Portland, Maine, because I used to live in Portland. And I'm going to go back up there twice a month and teach some classes. I'm brushing off some of the old classics with some twisted updates, like my psychic development class, like my shielding class, how to protect your energy, classes that I taught for years and years, and then I took a break from, and now I'm getting people that are kind of really interested in moving in that direction again.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really going to help people. I'm talking, in fact, at 7:30 tonight on my Facebook page. You're going to be able to tune in, and I'm going to be doing a little free talk on creating your spiritual path. And then the big news, which I told you before we went on air, is I am launching a TV show.
Excellent.
I sure am. It's going to be called Web of Light. I'm going to be doing the show with Angie, I like to say Angie D'Anjou.
Yes, I pronounce it D'Anjou.
Yes, and I think she pronounces it Angie D'Anjou or something like that.
That's no fun.
Yeah. Well,
you should have some fun with it. It's her name. Jeez.
I keep on telling her. I give her a hard time all the time. I keep on going, I'm going to get you to pronounce that name correctly before I'm finished. So anyways, so Angie and I are old friends, and we're doing a number of things, and I'm doing a number of events coming up in June. I'm at a wellness fair in Dover. I'm at one in Lewiston. I'm one in Hampton. I'm at one in Exeter. All these different shows, summer solstice shows, events. People can go to weboflight.com, WEBOFLIGHT.com, and there is my event calendar. And Web of Light is also the name of the show. So
now,
go ahead.
Dr. Kevin, just to clarify something. So the talk that you're giving tonight on Facebook at 7:30. So which page will this be on the My Dr. Kevin page or what?
I'm asking for technical advice from my shooter, who, if she doesn't do a good job, I'm going to send her over to visit an elementary school or something. Mm-hmm. Can we do it on my Dr. Kevin page? Or does it have to be on my actual...
If you want to use the Facebook It has to be to your regular Facebook for tonight anyway.
It has to be through my regular Facebook page?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be on Kevin. So it's going to be on my actual page. But people should still be able to go and I think watch it. I don't know that you necessarily have to be my friend.
I can post it to the Dr. Kevin page after.
It can be posted to the Dr. Kevin page after, but it will actually be on my Facebook page, which I believe is live. So if people just type in Kevin Ross Emery, they will see my Creating Your Spiritual Path. Now, this is the first time we're doing it. So I'm saying that with all sorts of confidence that my two tech people, one on my left and one on my right, are going to make sure that this is on my Facebook page. Because the reason one's on my left and one's on my right is I have my hands on the back of their heads. So if they don't, throw their heads together a couple of times in rhythmic in rhythmic play. One's in work and ignoring me, and the other one's over here whining. So anyways. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing the creating your spiritual path. So the TV show is exciting. I'm going to make it out there over there. If anybody in the listening audience has a public access station to where they live, and you would like it to see the show up, then make sure you send me an email at Dr. Kevin, DRKVIN, at mydrkevin.com. We will find out. What you need to do. But I know that in a lot of places, if a person who is a resident of a city or town with a public access cable, all they have to do is write an email with a link saying, I'm a resident and, I'd like you to carry this on my show, on our station. So you could be bringing home Web of Light into your own living room.
Very nice.
And trust me, there have been many people through the years that have brought Dr. Kevin into their living room.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and there wasn't even TVs involved.
Well, you are an actual human being, so you can be in someone's living room. You're not like a hologram or something.
No, last time I checked, I've been called a hologram before, but never a hologram. Actually, I've been called an unholygram before as well. Go figure. Tomato. It depends on which side, which side you're looking at, as to what's going on. So I'm really getting in the swing of being back in New England and teaching a lot of classes and making myself available and bouncing around. And I'm here at Shaman's Dream Gifts at the Foxhorn Mall on Wednesday, Thursdays. Be up in Portland actually every other Wednesday. I'm going to split my Wednesdays between Portland and Portsmouth. And then right now Tuesdays, and then eventually Monday, Tuesdays, I'll be up in Nashua. And then I'll be running around doing some events on the weekend. And I have a few, stuff I'm going to do here and there. June 11th, coming right up, I'm going to be actually hosting a huge crystal show in Nashua. So if you like sparklies and you're in the Nashua area, 11 to 6 at the Holistic Self-Care Center. Again, you can just come to my facebook.com/mydrkevin. Ask me about it. You'll see the event posted. So, I got lots of stuff going on.
Yes, you do.
So I think that's kind of sort of where everything is at. You and I are still talking about doing something together. Matt, what is our problem?
I think it's just that we're both, and it's a good problem to have in a way. It's just that we're both so damn busy.
We're
both men in motion, Dr. Kevin.
Yes. We're both men in motion. Thank God we're not wearing kilts. I
have very hairy legs. I could never do that.
Why do you think that you can't wear a kilt if you've got hairy legs? Do you think that all of the men that wear kilts in the United Kingdom shave their legs or don't have hairy legs? Is this some fantasy you have?
I think it would be distasteful for me to expose my body hair. As I've mentioned before, I'm like an ape. I'm not even allowed at the beach. Well, I can go to the beach, but I'm not allowed in the water for that reason because other people get entangled in my hair sea life and so forth. It's very dangerous. So no, I don't believe I'm even probably legally allowed to wear a kilt.
So, I'm thinking that maybe I should get a pair of very thin, fine, small knitting needles for Jen to see if she could maybe we can create clothing or rugs or toupees. Maybe we can, if she knit it together, maybe we could cut it off and we could send it to the Trump campaign.
Send what to the Trump campaign?
Your hair all braided or knit or crocheted together, and see if we can thicken out that hairpiece of his.
Do you really think he has a hairpiece?
It's not. He doesn't. I don't go back.
I think this is real hair because he could afford a good hairpiece.
Well, so let's say we could send him hair to help with that piece of lonesome hair that he has on the top.
Okay, fair enough.
Does that work?
That works for me.
Okay, so Matt, I'm going to be in touch with you.
All right.
Thanks for coming. And next week, tune in next week and find out.